This is Petcube's new GPS collar. Let's talk about it because I've been using it for the past few weeks, but I am going to share some cons. This is an activity tracker and location tracker. So think of it like a Fitbit for your dogs or like an Apple Watch for your dogs that has two main functions. It'll track your dog's location real time and alert you if they're outside of the safe zones. And two, it's going to help track their activity. So if your dog is not getting enough steps or exercise, it will help remind you to get them a little more movement, which is incredibly important because we as a pet parent nation are in a crisis of overweight pets. Pets that are overweight can have their lifespan reduced by up to 2 years. And I don't know about you, actually I do know about you. You want as much time with your pet as possible. So we need to get our pets a little bit more active. When they're more active, we're more active. So when you first unbox it, you'll notice it comes in the holder. You can see it has little straps there, which is one of my favorite features because there's some trackers out there that are great, but you have to use specific collars. And I love the fact that this is glow in the dark. That's something I didn't realize until I started using it. Woo! Until I started using it and realized, oh, it's glowing in the dark. Makes it easy to see my dog. But as you can see, it comes out of here. It's like this elastic silicone material, which makes it, in my opinion, experience so far of using this for 3 weeks, easy to clean, easy to take off and charge, which I had another brand that I used in the past, which again, worked great, but it was really annoying to take it off the collar and then getting it out and charging it. And just because I'm always curious about what the charger looks like, so it's literally just these little 3 dots here, and then it comes with the charging cord, and then you'll see these, you just plug it in and it charges, in my experience, in like an hour. From a fully dead battery, in 1 to 1.5 hours, it's fully charged for me. So that's really valuable because I've had others that again charge quite a bit. Now, the battery on this is also one of the more attractive features. For me, it lasts at least 2 weeks, if not 3 to 4 weeks. It can last up to a month in the low power save mode. The other thing about the device itself is it does have a buzzer and an LED light. So let's say you're trying to find your pet, you know they're in the house because the tracker on the phone will tell you. It'll actually light up so you can find the device or find it on your pet. And regardless of what GPS tracker you use for your pet, I honestly don't really care which brand. I just personally am loving this one right now. I recommend highly, 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 and I honestly beg you to put a GPS on your pet because you never know, even if your dog has the perfect recall, you never know. If they get out, they get spooked, all it takes is one brand new big semi to drive by your house that's never driven by there before. The neighbor accidentally unlocked your gate, the car goes by, your dog gets spooked out of nowhere because they just heard a weird sounding animal, they get spooked and they flee. When you have this, you set up safe zones. It could be your house, it could be your house plus your yard, and it will alert you automatically on your phone if your dog is outside of that safe zone immediately, right when it happens. And it'll tell you where your dog is. So you can run, go get them, keep them safe so they don't get stolen, they don't get hit by a car, they don't get lost, injured. And that's one of the leading causes of dogs ending up in shelters and sometimes never getting found is they get lost. Now, before I talk about some of the cons of this GPS tracker, another thing I love is that you can share information with your veterinarian. So if they're being a lot more lethargic or less active than normal, then, oh, we got Scoochie Girl, hi, than normal, then you can share that information with your vet. And in the Petcube app, you can connect with a veterinarian 24/7. It's a certified veterinarian. So if you have a health or medical concern, yes, if it's an emergency, go to your local emergency vet. But if you have a general concern, you can't get into your primary vet's office, you can connect with a vet through the app, which is a really easy, convenient, and helpful option. Now, let's talk about some of the cons. One is the size. So all of the pet GPS trackers on the market are too big in my opinion. That's my honest truth. I wish they could make them the size of like a quarter, but they don't. So this is the size next to my hand. Here's my computer mouse, so you can kind of get an idea of the size. It would still fit on a small dog, but I wish it was smaller. I wish all GPS units were smaller. It is what it is. As technology grows, I'm sure we'll get there. The next con is you are required to have a subscription to use this, and the reason is it uses over 100 satellites and cell phone data to track your dog wherever they are. So if you're out in public, it's going to track the location of your dog. That requires a subscription. This is the same for any pet GPS unit that I've seen and I've explored out there, so that's not uncommon, but that's something that you should need to know. And one of my favorite features of this compared to many other GPS collars out there is also a potential con, and that this is the silicone holder. And so I do wonder if over time, if that's gonna get weak. Time will tell, and I know that you can always get replacement ones. I have had issues with every other brand I've used and falling off of my dog, so that seems to be a common issue with GPS trackers, so I'm very sensitive to that. And as always, this GPS tracker and all my favorite pet products, dog foods, treats, and everything will be on my website at RachelFusaro.com or linked in the description below. And if you wanna see more about Petcube's nanny cam that goes 360 and has night vision and is aesthetic and beautiful in my opinion, click the video right here and we'll talk about that. Or if you want to learn more about my potty training, crate training, click the video right here, and don't forget to click that subscribe button. I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.